Hello and welcome back. I am currently heading towards the icy tundras just north of Arceus, where we'll find one of RuneScape's few skilling bosses. If you weren't aware, I'm on a mission to do what I could never do as a kid, and complete all quests, obtain a 99, and defeat every boss in the game. This being one of them, the Raging Snowstorm, known as the Wintertodt. The Wintertodt is a very unique fight, as there isn't any actual combat taking place. Instead, you'll use your skills in fire making to help a group of pyromancers. Now, despite the lack of physical combat, the Wintertodt can and will kill you if you aren't paying attention. Knowledge that I'm unfortunately a little too familiar with. Keeping warm is the main goal here, so wearing warm clothing is crucial. The fight is fairly simple, and the pyromancers provide you with all the tools you'll need. Many players spend dozens of hours here, after getting the minimum requirement of 50 fire making, as you can earn a high amount of XP per hour in a skill that is relatively fast and completely free to reach 99 in here, as well as earn rewards points, which are claimed from the cart in the pyromancer's main camp. Now before you think to yourself, am I about to watch 30 hours of Wintertodt? No! So you can rest easy. Instead, I'll be focusing on the collection log for this boss. As I have yet to pull any unique item from the rewards, I'm gonna lock myself here for a couple hours, get some fire making levels, and see how many reward pulls I can get. Alright, we're here outside of the Wintertodt arena. I'm on one of the official worlds, so I could do it with masses. Since I don't have any piece of the pyromancer outfit, I'm gonna be wearing a slayer helmet, a fire cape, and purple gloves for warmth, and a Guthix top, Mauritania legs, and Fremennik sea boots for a little bit of just white fashionscape. I'll also be bringing an axe to chop the bruma roots, a tinderbox for lighting, and a knife to fletch the logs. Alright, let's go take on the big blizzard thing. As soon as I go in, there's already a game that's almost done, so while it wraps up, I grab a few vials of water and some herbs to make the rejuvenation potions that restore your warmth whenever you get attacked. And now as soon as the fight starts, I come to this tile to chop the roots because it's supposed to be out of the range of some of the snow attacks. And I'll stay here basically until I get a full inventory of roots. And then I'll use the knife to fletch them into the kindling to feed the brazier, since you get more rewards points for doing that. And I think I got pretty lucky this time because the cold damage only interrupted my fletching one time, so I got through them pretty quick. Then you just feed the kindling into the fire until the brazier is broken by the Wintertodt, which then if you're playing on a mass world, people pretty much instantly repair and relight so you can continue feeding it, as well as you being able to do it yourself. Once I finish that inventory, I go back to chopping roots. You don't have the same amount of time as you do for the first one, so I just get whatever I can and fletch until I get around 10%, and I feed whatever I can. And not long after the fight is over. It's extremely easy. If you pay attention, there's really nothing to it at all. I do a couple more rounds before calling it for the day. And the next day, just about 20 minutes into my session, I die. I wasn't recording at that time, so I don't have the full clip, but I looked away from my screen for a second, and when I looked back, I was at Lumbridge Castle. I was in complete disbelief. This is the second time I've ever died to Wintertodt. The first was the first time I ever went there. I only really have this part of me going to death and grabbing my stuff. Just unlucky. Okay, now I'm coming up to 90 KC. I've had a couple thoughts of when to stop. My first was at getting 150 pulls, and then 150 became 175, and then 175 became an even 100 KC. And also a question for people out there. Does anybody actually really like doing this, or do you just do it only for the rewards? I feel like 90% of the people you see here are just Iron Men who are getting it out of the way, or collection loggers who just want to get all the stuff from the rewards. I guess another question is, are you an Iron Man? And if you are, what made you want to start playing as an Iron Man? So I'm genuinely curious. Like when I first started playing again, I considered it, but I thought it would be best to just play normally for now and maybe do one later on. But now I kind of play a mix of both, where I try to buy menial things, but I want to get my own like big drops. But yeah, let me know. And a few hours later, I get the 100th kill, doing 75 in total. And we got 207 reward pulls, so not too bad at all. Okay, so we're here now out at the rewards cart, just outside of the Wintertodt. We have our 206 pulls to do. There's one last look at the collection log. So we have nothing here from the couple games we've played. Now we have 100. So if we get anything, any of these things, it'll be good. I did originally have 207, but at some point I accidentally took a reward out and it was like 8 salmon, so nothing too interesting. All right, but here we go. Okay, there we get the first part of a collection log. We get 24 burnt pages. Hopefully we also get the Tome of Fire, so we have something to do with these burnt pages, because I'm currently in that situation with a different kind of page. So hopefully we get the Tome of Fire as we go on. Okay, and there we get our second piece. It's the Pyromancer garb, which is the shirt it looks like. Yep, there it is. The Pyromancer garb. Now, if we can get the rest of the outfit or the Tome of Fire, that'd be fantastic. Oh, there we go. There we get the Bruma torch. I think it's just another piece of warm clothing you can use when you're in there. Just looks like that. And I think you can double wield these, so you can get like 2 of them or 1 in each hand. So 1 piece of Pyromancer, the Bruma torch, and then 24 burnt pages so far. I'm gonna bank because I need more room to store all this stuff. We get 7 more burnt pages for the non-existent Tome of Fire. We got another Bruma torch, so now I think I can show the double wield. There we go. I saw a video of somebody who saw someone run around like this and didn't know what it was, and I thought it was pretty cool too. There's not very many things you can just double wield that are 2 things in this game, so anything like that is pretty cool. Got more burnt pages. I'm still holding out hope for that Tome of Fire, but I am getting a lot of seeds, a lot of herb seeds, and a lot of gems and stuff, which I really wanted. Now I need to rebank. Okay, and now I have to rebank again because I've gotten so much stuff. 58 rewards to go. Oh, I got the Tome of Fire. There we go. Okay, so luckily these burnt pages won't just be sitting in my bank with nothing to do, so I'll actually be able to use them in the Tome of Fire. With 50 more rewards to go, we got the Tome of Fire. Got 22 more burnt pages. Got the warm gloves, so let's see what that looks like. We have what, 13 rewards left? Another pair of warm gloves right at the end. So with that, we only got the burnt pages, the Pyromancer garb, a Tome of Fire, and 2 pairs of warm gloves. no other pieces of pyromancer outfit, and no pet. But I can see why Iron Men love coming here for supplies, because that was a lot. Here's my official, like, everything I've ever gotten from the rewards pools. To just over, I've made just over 3 million just from whatever that stuff's worth, and that's not even counting how much the herbs themselves cost from the amount of seeds I got. All in all, it was a pretty good haul. And now, from the freezing snow of the northern tundras, we make our way to the heat of the Caridian Desert, where a group of fishermen, known as the Spirit Anglers, are dealing with their own force of nature, the spirit of the sea, Tempoross. Like Wintertodt, Tempoross is a skilling boss, so there is again no direct combat with the being. Instead, players set sail with the Spirit Anglers to Tempoross Cove, where they will have to use their fishing skills to catch harpoon fish, to load onto cannons to weaken the boss, causing him to submerge, and spawn spirit pools that the player can fish and damage Tempoross, repeating the cycle until he returns to the depths of the water. Luckily for me, Tempoross doesn't have the ability to kill the player, but rather uses his attacks to disrupt the player's attempt to weaken the spirit, before it becomes too powerful, causing a losing fight. Its wave attack will wash over the player and remove items from their inventory, like their tools or harpoon fish. A lightning attack that creates multiple spreading fires that can cover the island if left unchecked. And an attack to disable one of the cannons from being loaded with harpoon fish. These attacks have a very easy counter and are very avoidable. Now, unlike the Wintertodt, I already have most of the stuff in the collection log, so instead, I'll be focusing on something I haven't touched on yet, and that's the combat achievements. Combat achievements are tasks that give an extra challenge for bossing, such as raising kill count, killing with a specific weapon type, or avoiding all damage. I am missing 2 of these CAs here at Tempoross, one being to simply fire all 4 cannons, and the other to finish a solo fight with 10 rewards points. Now, I knew that guides for this existed, but I wanted to see if I could figure out a different way. So I came up with the no damage idea. Basically, I went and did Tempoross as normal, but instead of harpooning the spirit pools, I would just grab another inventory of fish, thinking that in theory, I could just farm points forever. So I gave that a try. I really did think this strategy might work, as there weren't any obvious downsides. After loading the cannons full 3 times, I thought I had the victory in hand. I would just keep knocking Tempoross' shield down and rake in all the points. And then I began to fish for a 4th inventory. That's when it became extremely apparent that this wasn't going to work, as when Tempoross regained his energy, the intensity of his storm went up 10 times faster than before. So I did what many players do in this situation. I found a guide on YouTube, with a special thanks to KaiRS for his guide. The basic strategy is to catch, cook, and load exactly 16 harpoon fish to stop Tempoross from being able to perform special attacks. Then getting 19 more cooked fish into a cannon and fishing from the spirit pools, and then repeating the cycle. But on the 3rd round, you have to prepare to load 2 cannons at once, to quickly put Tempoross' energy down before he becomes too powerful, explaining why my original strategy failed. And even still with this new strategy, I failed. The first time taking too long to catch and cook fish by not getting the correct amounts and only getting 9 points in the end. On attempt number 2, I decided to follow the strategy exactly, but a few misplays later, I found myself out of time and both ships blocked by fires that would take my fish, resulting in a forfeit. And then attempt number 3 also ended with me scrambling to catch and cook fish fast enough and eventually losing to the 3rd phase yet again. But having been so close, I knew that if I could just catch and cook the fish faster, I would be able to have it. And then I decided to give a tactic used in masses a chance. Instead of catching all 16 fish at once, I would catch 8 and cook them. This would take up enough time to let a double fish spot spawn, so I could catch the rest quicker and already half of what I needed be cooked. The mix of the 2 strategies actually worked really well. I think doing it this way allowed for better time management, for me at least, as I had more than enough time to catch and cook all the fish I needed and have everything go smoothly. And finally, I got the achievement, leaving only one left to fire all 4 cannons in one fight. So I started another round and played normally, just firing all 4 cannons once for the achievement. I tried to finish the game, but if you could take a wild guess, I ran out of time loading the harpoonfish and lost. Afterwards, I went to go get the rest of the KC needed for 100. In the end, I ended up with 102 rewards points after getting 100 KC. And since I already have most of the collection log complete, I'll hold on to the points and maybe come back to them at a later time. And for our last stop this video, we'll head to Fossil Island. We're in a small area just behind the tar swamp is the Deranged Archaeologist. Not much is known about the archaeologist, but it's probably safe to assume that he is a member of the dig site operations who for whatever reason happened to lose his mind. As a boss encounter, he is mechanically very simple, and you can negate his damage with the range protection prayer. But he also has a special attack, where he will throw books towards the player, which will explode into more books. The attack cannot be blocked with the range protection prayer, and has a maximum damage of 92. This is more than enough to kill me in one attack, if I don't avoid it. Unfortunately, the Deranged Archaeologist is pretty bad, and only has one unique drop and very easy combat achievements, both of which were already gotten prior to this video. But for the sake of the series, I'm gonna kill him until I can get another steel ring. A 1 in 43 defensive ring, because who doesn't like more nice stuff? And now we find ourselves in the far end of the swamp of Fossil Island, with the archaeologist just behind me. He is pretty weak against magic, so I've chosen to use it in our fight. Magic will also help maintain distance from his attacks, as he won't move from his spot if you're not meleeing him. With me, I brought my Aram's Hood, Imbued God Cape, Occult Necklace, Rada's Blessing, a Lava Battle Staff for unlimited fire runes, a Bloodbark Body, an Unholy Book, Aram's Robe Skirt, Barrow's Gloves, and Bloodbark Boots. But no ring, since I plan on walking out with his. I've also brought some food, as well as 1,000 air and blood runes to cast Fire Wave, as well as some supplies that I needed just to get here. Let's go get our second steel ring. So this first fight got off on the wrong foot already. I went in and forgot to record and had to go back out, and then this is where I went in. I go to get some distance, and then immediately I'm like, well, I didn't put on my prayer again, so I'm gonna put it on now. And as I'm putting my prayer on, he does a special attack. It lands a 50, and then I don't think to move out of the way for the other ones that might also kill me, so I just stand there and take 11 more damage. Now I have prayer up, and now I should be able to just hit him from far away. And then he hits me again for 30 with his special attack because I didn't move fast enough. Luckily, I know once I could get in the rhythm, I'll be able to avoid his stuff, and I won't need any more food. And then I realized at some point during this that I didn't have any prayer potions. So after every few kills, I would have to go and restore my prayer points. Eventually, me and him just kind of keep hitting each other back and forth, and he can't really hurt me. And I kill him. And I get 2 food back. So now we will continue this until we get that steel ring. The second drop gives us some Numulite and 8 Black Dragon Hide. The third drop gives us 4 Grimy Dwarf Weeds. And on the 4th kill, a Frog Prince random event spawns while I'm in the middle of fighting, which is very distracting, but we get the kill, and we get extremely lucky with the steel ring drop. And it also worked out that I was going to restore my prayer after this fight. But regardless, I head home. And now I'd like to take this time to thank anyone who sees this and made it this far. I know that 2 skilling bosses isn't the most entertaining content in the world, but hey, we got through it. And thanks to these guys for leaving a comment in the previous video. Thank you once again for watching, and see you in the next one.